Max Verstappen, ladies and gentlemen, wins the sprint race at Imola at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Wow, what a weekend we've had. What a completely different race we got into. But Max Verstappen, as I've mentioned, wins the sprint race. Good race. What are your thoughts in the comment section below? Please do let me know. What were your thoughts on the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix? I am very intrigued to find out what your opinions are on this race. Max Verstappen takes 8 points, as I had mentioned before, as I predicted as well, that he would win the sprint race and that he would qualify on pole. So that's 2 out of 2 for me right now, even though, you know what, nonetheless, even if he hadn't, because there was some great racing that took place that went on there. Charles Leclerc did definitely battle him very well. Charles Leclerc got off to a great start, jumping Max Verstappen right at the beginning there of the Grand Prix. I want to get your thoughts and your comments below as we discuss the sprint race that took place. Question: what do you think? Is the sprint race too short? Is it too long? What are your thoughts exactly? I would love to get your take on this, because I'm I'm in between two. You know, I'm in two places with this. You know, maybe it's just right. Maybe it's fine, but at the same time, you know, there was a part of me that thought, you know, 21 laps felt like too long to me at the beginning. But then as the race went on, it kind of, like lap 19, 18 kind of jumped at you very quickly. And all of a sudden the race was like kind of over. I don't know what you guys think. Do you think it's too long? Do you think it's too short? Let me know in the comment section below. But yes, Max Verstappen takes first place. Charles Leclerc second place. Sergio Perez, very importantly, in third place for the Red Bulls. I mean, you know, to start off, you know, I guess they were the podium, weren't they, right? Even though it's like a qualifying kind of session / a race. It obviously sets up the grid tomorrow for the actual race to look very promising. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Where was your mind when you're watching, watching the sprint in comparison to watching qualifying the night before? Because, you know, you might have thought, like, you know, it's all Ferrari, it's all about Ferrari right now, but at the same time, that Red Bull, man, it's still very quick. And as I said yesterday, as I said last night, you do not need reliability for a sprint race. 20 laps, you know what I mean, and that was it. You're done. 21 laps, you're done. But yes, Carlos Sainz as well. Let's talk about him, because, you know, we were not so great to him yesterday, were we? Last night we weren't too keen on Carlos Sainz, and yet he finished up in P4. Big up to him. He done very well. Got some good points there. On points, by the way, Red Bull have overtaken Mercedes now in the Constructors' Championship, and I was very surprised because I forgot all about the point system. How I think you got more, you know, it's way more points than last year, right? Because beforehand you had 3 points for winner, 2 for second, and 1 for third place. But now, you know, you're looking at as far as 8 points all the way up into 8th place. You can get 1 point. Big up to Uzair, my McLaren Don, all the way from Woking. Let me just say that. Red Bull looks up. The only thing stopping them tomorrow is reliability. What do you mean Red Bull looks up? OP? What do you mean by that? Oh, what's up? I mean, if they're looking quick, they're looking good, you're absolutely right. I think they are looking pretty good. And you're absolutely spot on. It's about reliability for sure when it comes to, you know, for the Red Bull. The Red Bull is fast. Guys, it's quick. Okay? And as much as Verstappen, as much as, you know, Leclerc got on the jump from the start of the race, Verstappen caught up with him. You know, and something needs to be said about that. You know, whether it's about nursing tyres or, you know, whether so-and-so didn't look after their tyres properly, I don't know. But yeah, OP, overpowered. It looks overpowered. Who knows, you know? At the end of the day, as you said quite correctly, the reliability needs to be nipped in the bud right there. So far, we didn't see anything. You know, it is just a sprint race, but we didn't see anything. So who knows? Let's see what happens in tomorrow's race. Are you more excited? Are you less excited about the race tomorrow? What are your thoughts? Have you learned something new over this course of this weekend? I mean, you know, I didn't get to watch practice 2 because I was working, and all of a sudden I'm seeing George Russell top of the charts. I'm seeing Hamilton, I think, was he top 4? I thought, what's going on? And obviously all I had was just literally those results to work from. So I hadn't had a clue what happened there. And obviously I saw my man Norris down at the end, and I was like, what's going on there? But, you know, big up to Lando Norris on McLaren right now. Big up to Lando Norris. P5, Ricardo P6. Ricardo looks like he's back, doesn't he? He looks like he's here. He looks like he's arriving. Let me say. I don't know what your thoughts are, but Daniel Ricciardo looks like he's arrived. Um, and let me know, by the way, separate note, the music that I'm playing in the background. What's your thoughts? Do you like it? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? Do you prefer no noise at all? Give me some feedback so I know what's going on, so I can make the product better for you guys as we go on to the season. Race 4 or race weekend 4 at least, as we are currently right now. And Bottas, P7, racking up 2 points. He was actually pretty decent, going toe to toe with the Alpines. I want to know what's happened with the Alpine. What's happened with Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon especially? What has gone wrong? Is the floor not worked out for Alpine? Or is it a case of we're looking at it too soon? Do we still need to wait till race day to really give our verdict on the situation? The sprint shows that overtaking seems to be easier this year. I have a bit more optimism for tomorrow. So funny enough, right? Yes, the overtaking, by the way, was there to be seen. It was brilliant. We do need DRS, right? I think we can firmly say that DRS is actually, we need it. It's quite important. For races like this, for example, we're going to need to have some DRS on the circuits, right? But at the same time, I was thinking, man, these cars are so big, especially at a track like Imola. Imola is narrow, right? It's not the average circuit on the grid, but Imola looks really, really narrow. And I was just thinking, man, look at these cars. Like, how are these big chunky cars trying to get around people? But if you've got the pace and you know how to pick your moment. Because also there was a lot of swerving, wasn't there? There was a lot of going sort of weaving in and out, and a few people I think had to have black and white flags. I don't know whether that's just because they thought the track was sort of narrow enough in order to do something like that. But at the same time, you're right, Uza. I am more optimistic. We saw a lot more overtaking than we realized. We got good racing, by the way. Now, whether that's just because it was a sprint race. We had some good racing. Wouldn't you say so? There was battles going on everywhere. Carlos Sainz fighting through the field. The clash between Verstappen and Leclerc. Big up Verstappen, by the way, because it was a very mature drive. Because even though he lost his place, maybe the Verstappen of old, we would have probably seen him panic, seen him lose his mind, be a bit too hasty. But my God, he was patient. He was patient, and I think he just knew that he was quicker and quicker. And whether the team just knew, look, that car's going to come back to us. Don't you worry, and you'll be able to pick your moment. And then they were even trying to talk to him, and he's like, look, guys, just leave me alone. Let me be quiet. Let me focus on overtaking Charles Leclerc, because this is so important. This is huge, And this weekend, as there was, before the race started, they were putting up the points between like Verstappen and Leclerc and Ferrari and the Red Bulls and so on. And it made me think, man, Leclerc's actually gone quite far. He's quite far ahead, isn't he? Even at this early stage. And it was very important for me to see, Max get some points or whoever else, just somebody other than Leclerc get the points, because I want to see competition. I want to see a title race, right? So to see that, I thought to myself, oh, do you know what? Max, you better do something in this race. You need to do something, especially with being, qualifying P1, and then he had the nightmares kind of a start, if you will, at the start of the sprint race. But in the end, kind of, overcame, bided his time very, very well, picked his moment, went for the kill, and he done it, and he kept the car in front, and he ended up even extending. And I think the Ferrari was sort of getting weaker and weaker on those soft tyres as time went on, because Perez kept obviously Sainz well at bay, and he was only, I think, was he 2 seconds behind Charles Leclerc? So, it could have been very interesting towards the end of that race. Perez is holding his own, by the way. It's good to see. If you're a Red Bull fan, it's good to see that Perez is holding his own. He's not necessarily going toe to toe with Max, but he needs to be in the top 3, top 4 conversation every single week. That's what he needs to be doing. And so far this season, big up to Sergio Perez. He's hanging in there. I don't say hanging, because hanging sounds like he's barely making it. He's making it. And it's good to just sort of see him swinging, because done other days when we have a number 1 driver and the number 2 driver is just nowhere near it. We need to have them all there. Sainz as well. We need to see Sainz up there in the mix. And he had a very, very, very good Saturday. A very, very good Saturday. If we're going to stick it on Sainz, we've got to give it good, just as good, right? We've got to give it just as good. So big up to the title race this year. Big up to Ferrari and to Red Bull. The title race is looking lit this year, and I'm looking very much forward to it. I'm looking very forward to tomorrow's race. You're not the only one. I'm looking very, very, very much forward to tomorrow's race. You know, the McLaren's just behind both Red Bulls and both Ferraris. Right? It's nice, right? Mercedes are nowhere to be seen. Mercedes, what's going on? Huh? Somebody knock on the door to Mercedes. Somebody needs to wake up both Russell and Hamilton. Because I thought, you know what, the wet, you thought, okay, whatever, yesterday they could be forgiven, right? And maybe they might be able to do something. And obviously, when you see what happened in practice, as I said, I didn't see practice, I just saw the results. I'm thinking, okay, so there's something in that going on there. They got something underneath them. But they couldn't pass anybody. In fact, they went behind, didn't they? Hamilton went back one, didn't he? They just couldn't do anything. So yeah, imagine that. Was it Sebastian Vettel who had a poor race? You know, didn't he start 8th or something like that? Had a poor race, Sebastian Vettel. But him and Yuki Tsunoda sandwiched in between the two Mercedes of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Uzer says Checo's been better than Sainz so far this year. Hasn't really put a foot wrong. Absolutely. And I was very keen to see how Perez got on, because I was never going to worry, because I like Perez. I think he's a bloody good driver. But, you know, whether the media starts talking and the pressure starts coming on, and it's like kind of unnecessary pressure, if you will, on the likes of Sergio Perez, where he's doing his job. Last year, it was a learning curve. It was all about learning that Red Bull. He knows it. He knows that Red Bull now. A bit like, Danny Ricciardo right now. Danny Ricciardo learned that McLaren last year. Learn it off. And now he looks like, okay, here we are. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's go. And let's see what we can get from him this year. But yes, Sergio Perez definitely done better than Sainz and hasn't put a foot wrong. Couldn't agree with you anymore. It's not going to lie, part of me is happy Mercedes is a flop, because those side pods are ugly as hell. Yeah, do you know what? Like, listen, I'm all right for Mercedes not being here. I'm all right. I'm all right with that. You know, I'll take that any day of the week, because we were discussing this yesterday on the stream. They've been dominating for donkeys now. I mean, 8 years, right? 8 years constructors champions in a row. Like, really? You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad if Mercedes are not in the title race this year. I'm not that mad, you know? I don't want to see kind of Lewis go out this way, though. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, for example, it's Lewis's last year. I don't want to see him go out like this. That would be crazy, wouldn't it? You know, let him leave on a high or something. Just leave him with a little bit of dignity. You know what I mean? Let's not have a Vettel at Ferrari or a Vettel even at Aston Martin. But yeah, I'm with you as well. I'm with you. Yeah, the side pods are superb. Absolutely, they are. And, you know, Mercedes, cool off. Yeah, let's just cool off for a bit. But I do want a third team. Am I getting greedy? I want a third team in the mix. You know, I'm all for like the Red Bull versus Ferrari, but that could be the story every week, right? And soon enough, that will get boring. Unless I'm being greedy, let me know. If I'm being greedy, let me know. Kevin Magnussen, you know, P8. Weird kind of a race. Of course, like, he was fortunate to start fourth, right? He was fortunate to start fourth. And then as time went on, it just kind of went away from him. And wasn't he the only one, like him and his teammate, on the mediums? I think there was like a Williams on mediums as well. But it seemed to me that the mediums was like, you know, because I was thinking, why is everybody on softs and then the men are on mediums? I wonder what's going on there. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like the mediums were coming to those Haas, and you know, and looked like the softs were starting to wear out a little bit with the other drivers. And maybe this was a strategy, right? You know, don't worry about it. Mediums will be nice for us, and then from there, you know, it will be happy days. So I wonder if that's like a thing. I wonder if that's what they were thinking of, if that's what the plan was. Not entirely sure, but yeah, Magnussen P8, he gets the last point in the sprint race, and yeah, I think I like this point system a little bit better. What are your thoughts? Do you like the way that they've done the points this year? Because if it's just top three, it's a bit like naff, isn't it? But also, it still counts that, you know, you've got to finish higher as possible so that you can have a good position in the race. You know, so it's not too bad. Not too bad. Alonso P9, as I mentioned, you know, what's happened to the Alpines? Does anybody know? Does anybody know what's going on with Alpine at the moment? You know, they brought a new floor, didn't they? Now, is it just the floor is not working? Is that what it is? Ocon in 16th. I mean, he qualified, what was it, 19th? Did he even set a time? He qualified 19th, and then Fernando Alonso was in the top 5 or 6. I can't remember where he qualified. But then he had a good qualification. But then again, like back to 9th, and it's thinking, wow, the Haas is overtaking them. You know what I mean? It's the Alfa Romeo. You're just thinking something's not quite right. What's happening over there at Alpine? Hopefully they get their stuff sorted together. Maybe they'll be good in the race tomorrow. And let's see. We'll find out and see. As for the other contenders, Mick Schumacher, for example, finished in the top 10. It's a shame he doesn't get a point for that, because you would have thought, top 10, he's got some points. Happy days for Mick Schumacher. But yeah, Mercedes, as we've mentioned before, and the Williams, probably the less said about them, the better. Guan Yu Zhou, of course, unfortunate. Whose fault would you say in that mix between him and Pierre Gasly? It looked like Gasly's fault, and then obviously costed the race for Zhou Guan Yu, rather, not Guan Yu Zhou. But it was a bit of a sad day for him, and for the Williams, as per. It looks like it's a sad day for them all around. And then Stroll and Vettel, it was kind of like, maybe Aston Martin ain't serious after all. And as we mentioned before, the Mercedes absolutely like pants. Let's call it what it is. They were absolutely pants. So that is your sprint race, people. I'll give you the order. Max Verstappen starts the race tomorrow in pole position. You've then got Charles Leclerc, you've got Sergio Perez, you've got Carlos Sainz in P4, you've got Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, 5 and 6. The McLaren's there in the third row of the grid. Bottas, P7, Magnussen, P8, Alonso, 9, Mick Schumi, 10. That's the top 10 to start tomorrow. Imagine that, right? I haven't even mentioned the Mercedes yet. Russell's 11th, Hamilton is 14. That tells you most things, right? Uzet says Seb did well to defend his position for so long. Okay, maybe you've got a point there. Maybe I'm being a bit too raw on Sebastian Vettel. Listen, the fact that he was even in the top 10 to start with, was he top 8? Did he start 8th or something like that, right? The fact that he was even there, fair play to him. You got to give credit where it's due at the end of the day. So, yeah, he did well. But obviously, the car is the car. That's the problem with Aston Martin. And there's only so much I'm going to expect from Sebastian Vettel. But him starting, tomorrow's race at P13 sounds about where Aston Martin would be. That's where they'll be achieving, if anything. That'll be their best position. So, I'm looking forward, man. He's there, McLaren gang. You're looking forward. Third row on the grid. Maybe we could have a little nibble at Carlos Sainz at the start. Who knows, man? Some tag team action from McLaren, I'm hoping, for tomorrow's race. Who do you think, people, before we get going out of here, who do you think will win the race tomorrow? Who will win the race in your opinion? I think it's clear to see Max has got something under his belt, hasn't he? He's got the bit between his teeth, provided the car remains there. That's always been the issue. Max will always win over Charles as long as that car stays the course, right? Hence why, when he finished the race, he won the race, right? So when he's missed out, I think, on 2 second positions. So, Max Verstappen for me is the winner for this one. Verstappen, if his car doesn't blow up, that Red Bull is fast. No word of a lie, Uzer. No word of a lie. That car is fast. It's bloody good. Okay. So Max Verstappen, yes, I think we both agree that he's going to win this race tomorrow. With that being said, what about the podium? What's the podium finish going to look like? What's the podium finish going to look like this weekend? Is it going to be 2 Ferraris? Is it going to be a Ferrari and Red Bull? Is it going to be maybe a McLaren in there? A little cheeky little Bottas or a cheeky Haas in the mix. What are we going to have? What are your thoughts below? Let me know. Well, will we see something happening in the mix of all that? In the midst of all of that, who do you think you've got your eyes on the podium? For me, I might have to change my views on this one, but I don't know. Uzer's going with Leclerc P2, Perez P3. So as the sprint race finished, he's saying that's what's going to be the top 3. I tell you what, Red Bull will take that right now, wouldn't they? Red Bull will take that. They will take P2, P3. I think I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to throw a McLaren in there. Mr. Lando Norris is going to go there. It's going to be Max Verstappen, P1, Sergio Perez, P2, Lando Norris, P3. How about that? How about those apples, huh? That's what I think will happen. That's who I think will finish on the podium. 2 Red Bulls and a McLaren. 2 Red Bulls and a McLaren. That's what I think will happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below with our mental. You can let me know. Who do you think will be the first out? What's your opinions? Who's the first out in this race? Is it easy to just say the Williams? Who knows? Maybe. There says Norris needs help to get that podium. Yeah, I think there'll be some help. Don't you worry about that. I'm saying there'll be some help because I've not mentioned the Ferrari in that top 3, have I? So take that as you would like. But yes, who do we think will be the first out? Latifi, Ocon, Albon, Stroll, could be anyone. I have a feeling it's going to be a double whammy, you know. I have a feeling Pierre Gasly, just a feeling, Pierre Gasly to go out in this race will be the first to go out. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who do you think is first going out? And definitely who I'm concerned for is the I would say Mercedes. But I don't really care that much, you know. I actually don't care for them too tough. I am concerned about Alpine because they were promising. They look good. So far this season, I thought, oh, here we go. They're looking nice. 2-2s now. What's happened? What's going on? Is it just a floor issue? You brought in new aeros for this race, and they don't seem to be working. Your car's got worse. What on earth is going on? You know, let's see in the race. You know, Latifi's an easy winner for first out. I'll make you right. It is easy. It's too easy. That's why I'm going left field. You know what I mean? Let's go left mid. You know what I mean? Let's try something different. The obvious ones are there. They're there to be seen. But yeah, Latifi going out is not that crazy. In all honesty, but I'm concerned for Alpine. I would be concerned for like the Aston Martins of this world, the Mercedes. But at this rate, who cares? Who actually cares? Because I sure as hell don't. Unless you're a Mercedes fan, I sure as hell don't. The one to watch out for in this race tomorrow, I'm going to say Sergio Perez, you know, because he doesn't get the ratings I think he deserves. And I think he's going to be a massive difference. Did he actually get fastest lap in the end? Because I had to turn over. He was fastest lap up until the last lap, at least. So I'm not entirely sure, you know. Not entirely sure what happened there. But yeah, I am very much like, Sergio's going to do something that let's not sleep on this guy. That's what I'm saying. Don't sleep on Sergio. I think, you know, if he finishes second, you know, I'd say, look, I told you, watch out for this guy. This, by the way, you know, I can't remember where he started, but this sprint session, he was the driver of the day for me. You know what I'm saying? He was there, like, doing his thing. He was doing bits, fastest lap, and everything else. You know? Leclerc, Jose says, Perez can give Leclerc some trouble, you know? Absolutely. At the start, he can give him some trouble. And, you know, he's the tyre whisperer, as they call him. You can nurse that tyre for sure. For sure. Look at yourself, who's there. Thank you for the comments, man. I appreciate you keeping this conversation going. But yeah, Sergio Perez, absolutely. I definitely think he is one to watch, man. He is definitely one to watch. The sprint race, good race overall. I'm giving it a good 8 out of 10, solid 8. I want to give it 9 out of 10 because, you know, I didn't expect this, especially at Imola. You know, a track that's kind of criticised if you think about it. But I'm giving it a good solid 9 out of 10. Good race weekend. I didn't expect too much. But Max Verstappen wins it, people. And now we go on to the race tomorrow. And that's going to be a very, 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 very important race tomorrow. That's for sure. That is for sure. So, with that, people, I will see you then. I will see you tomorrow. I'll see you Monday. I'll see you Tuesday as well for McLaren Fan TV. We'll be discussing everything that's taking place at the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, the Imola Grand Prix, whatever the hell they want to call it this time. The San Marino Grand Prix for old time's sake, right? Looking forward to it tomorrow. Looking forward to the jump. By the way, before I forget, Max Verstappen's sort of take off at the start. Max, I'm watching you. Let's not have that again, okay? Because Leclerc copied you, but at the same time, it looked like you had an absolute hell of a time, hellacious time. So, I'm keeping my eye on that, by the way. And big up to Uze, who says, later, mate. Uze, I'll see you very, very, very soon. Until then, people, will see you at Imola with the race review. Should be interesting. Is that, people? Lights out.